the world-famous Matthew Street in the heart of Liverpool, home to the Cavern Club and a shrine for rock and pop fans. Here on the Wall of Fame, there's a brick for every performer and band who ever played the Cavern Club. And up there, amongst the sea of men, the liver birds. Four girls from Liverpool who didn't quite shake the world, but definitely caused a stir on the continent. In the 1960s, they enjoyed a residency at Hamburg's Star Club, where the Beatles had honed their craft just a few years previously. Sadly, lead singer Pam and guitarist Val are no longer with us, but drummers Sylvia and bassist Mary are alive and well and back home for the opening of a new musical about their lives. So Mary and Sylvia were back on Matthew Street. Did you come here a lot seeing bands back in the day?
Yes, well, you know, we came when we could sneak out.
So how old were you?
Well, 16. I was like 16 and Mary's 16.
I was 16 and a half, so I was a lot
She was older than me.
Mm.
Wow, still not very old, 16 and a half. No. Is that what made you want to be in a group, seeing those groups then?
Well, it was for me, definitely, when, you know, you used to get in that queue outside the Cavern. It used to go right the way down Matthew Street, and then you'd get in there in this atmosphere and you're seeing the Beatles and the Mersey Beats, whoever was playing there, and you thought, my gosh, I want to be part of this, yeah. That
must have made you unusual, though. Were you know, I mean, lots of lads thought, I want to be part of this, I can do that. Not so many girls. So, did you feel unusual in thinking, we're going to get some instruments and form a group?
Not unusual, but we just thought, right, we want to get a band, we want to get together, we want to be on that stage, like the lads, you know. Yeah. Why shouldn't we?
But we had been going to the Cavern while we were still practicing, taking our guitars with us, because we didn't have to queue up then. We'd just go straight in and say, we're a girls group. And that's how Bob Waller took us into the dressing room and said, the Beatles had just come off stage, and there was John Lennon and Paul McCartney standing in the dressing room, and Bob Waller said to John Lennon, this is going to be Liverpool's all-female band. And John Lennon just sort of and says, girls don't play guitars, you know.
Well, he was wrong, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Valerie, the minute we got out of there, Valerie said, we're going to prove him wrong, aren't we? So that made us more determined.
It seems amazing you've gone so quickly from you're not being able to play and you're just getting these instruments on high purchase, and then you're touring with the Stones. Yeah. How quickly does that happen?
Well, it was about half a year. I mean, we did practice.
Really? That long?
yeah. And we were all working in the daytime. And then we'd take a week of practicing in each other's houses so that the neighbours had a rest.
How does Hamburg happen?
Bill Harry from the Mersey Beats, who said to us, there's the Scout coming from the Hamburg, would you like to go there? Well, everybody wanted to go to
the Star Club. The Beatles had been there, so...
So we auditioned for Henry, and he said, right away.
Right, you're going.
You're going, yeah. Mm.
But then there was one problem.
Well, I can guess.
Yeah. I was underage. By this time, Mary
I wasn't 18 at the time, but I was nearly 18.
Right.
The other two were already 18, and she was still only 17.
I was only 17. So I had to go to Bow Street Magistrates Court, and Mickey Most, he had to be guarantor for me to say I would behave myself.
What are we talking now, 63? What did your mums and dads think about you at that age and you're going off to play in this notorious strip of clubs in Hamburg? What did they think?
I was going to be a nun, really. Right. I wanted to play in the group for 2 years, yes. Wanted to be a nun, thought I'd play in the group for 2 years and then go to Africa and be a...
It's a good apprenticeship for being a nun, isn't it?
Yeah, it was good, yeah. And so the taxi took us from the hotel we were staying in Hamburg to the Star Club. And they dropped us up at the corner before you go into the Große Freiheit. And this corner looked quite innocent, and right facing me there was a Catholic church, a great big beautiful Catholic church right in the middle of the red light district. And I thought, well, this is great, my parents are going to be made up with this, yeah. So that's, and then you went round the corner and you see what was really there.
Yeah, and what was it like? What was the life like, you know, for teenage girls playing there? Was it shocking? Was it an eye-opener?
Well, it was an eye-opener, yes. Yeah. So there was that much, you know, strip clubs. I mean, I hadn't really seen any strip clubs or anything, but those bouncers on the door, they knew us. They knew Manfred Weisleder,
Yeah.
who owned the Star Club. In fact, they worked for him because he more or less owned most of the strip clubs. And they looked after us and things like this. You know, they wouldn't let anybody go anywhere near us. They were great.
The Liverbirds became big in Europe, touring with Chuck Berry and appearing on the first edition of Beat Club, Germany's equivalent to Top of the Pops. But whilst in Hamburg, the girls fell in love and got married, bringing their short careers as Liverbirds to an end.
I met my husband in the Star Club, who was back in Tony Sheridan, the Big Six.
I met my husband in the Star Club as well. He was a German singer. And so I settled in Hamburg. We always kept in contact.
Sure, yeah.
And
But come on, tell them what Frank did.
yeah, he became a songwriter, and he wrote, for instance, Yes Sir, I Can Boogie, which is quite a popular song. Yeah.
I know that song.
Yeah, well, my husband wrote that, yeah. And
Well, keep playing it because she gets royalty. She gets the royalty.
Girls don't play guitars, or so said one John Lennon in 1962. Over half a century later, we hear a lot of female voices in pop, but still, the idea of an all-female rock and roll group is still quite a rarity. Back in '62, when Lennon made that remark, wrongly, he was talking about a bunch of teenage rock and roll girls from Liverpool who took the continent by storm, and who are still with us. Lennon's remark is the title of a new musical play about the girls, which opens at Liverpool's Royal Court Theatre this Friday. It's been written by Ian Salmon.
It's one of those stories, when you hear the story, you can't not want to spread it to other people.
I know, I've been hearing it, and it's almost, you think, why haven't I heard this story before? It's so rich and full of anecdote and interesting socially as well, isn't it? About these young women, you know, breaking into this world and going into Hamburg.
It is still a very current story because it's young women taking control of their own destiny, which is a subject we're talking about now.
Yeah.
So it's play for women, it's play for families, play for musicians, play for anybody with an interest in 60s music.
Yeah.
All of that is there, but it's also a story about 4 women who did something they were told that they couldn't do, specifically told that they couldn't do it by John Lennon.
Absolutely.
Which is, it's a fairly large figure to be told you can't do something by, and went out and did it brilliantly.
Yeah. And for Mary and Sylvia, the play couldn't have come at a better time.
Sylvia's husband and my husband, they both died 2 years ago, shortly after each other. And we were already kept in contact over the years anyway, but this brought us even closer together because we could comfort each other.
It's just kept us now from mourning, can I say. Of course, we still do, and we kept in touch with each other when we had bad days. And then this happening, it's been brilliant, absolutely brilliant.